Thank you for downloading this Brum Radio podcast. For more podcasts, visit brumradio.com.
Hello everybody and welcome to The Fashionemics with me, Laura Arrowsmith-Carter, and the beautiful Sophie Hillier.
I'm beautiful now that I've got a layer of foundation on, Huns.
She's currently doing her makeup while we're recording this before work.
Well, we've got to multitask, haven't we? And I've got the camera on in our little podcast software thing. And got to get it done. So welcome, guys. This is a normal episode. There's no special guests because we are special enough.
We are. We still have a great lineup today.
We do.
We're talking all things Adidas, Brooklyn Beckham, Kylie Jenner.
Triangle bikinis.
They're back.
I used to have one. I'm not going to lie. I actually had one.
Did you?
Yeah, I love them. They were like those bold colours, weren't they? Without the black.
Yeah.
Strips.
Like a turquoise and black, weren't they?
Yeah, they were bloody amazing. But they're doing some amazing. I didn't even know they were back on the radar, but apparently they are, and we've got some exciting stuff to talk about there. And also, I'm just going to let you know, guys. Not only am I now a podcast star, I'm a radio star. I mean,
You are.
I'm not sure what this is saying about my actual face because it's like I belong on radio and belong on podcasts. BBC Radio Kent and BBC Radio Nottingham. So I'm just like,
You're just doing your UK rounds, aren't you?
I am. I absolutely am. I was in like a proper work meeting yesterday and I was like presenting like my research to like the rest of my colleagues. And it got brought up about my radio interviews and I was like, this is actually hilarious. So thank you for BBC for having me. We're posting snippets on the good old Insta. So it's a good way to get another little bit of fashionemics content here and there. So we're back, normal episode, and we have got some amazing guest episodes I know we've got coming up in the next couple of weeks, so keep your ears peeled for those. So guys, I'm going to start the In the Know section this week by addressing something quite funny because your girls were scammed. But I was scammed. I told Laura.
I know we did this last time.
We didn't actually talk about what it was. We talked about it and I brought it up that I'd seen this thing and then it disappeared off the links. So we weren't actually sure what the hell was going on. But I've since found out that some hacker, scammer person from some kind of activist group had sent like a press release on behalf of Adidas to like all these like news outlets telling them that that basically a employee from a factory, a garment worker, was going to be their HQ on their CEO board, and it was a complete scam. So we mentioned last time that we'd heard about it, but the links had been removed. But actually, from looking now, you will see that
we're very gullible.
We're very gullible. I mean, I thought it was a great concept, and it was very strange how it was removed. But we have got to address the fact, of course, that we were scammed. We believed it. We loved it. Maybe that's a conversation to be had, and maybe someone would take an idea from that. But yeah, there is no garment worker on the CEO board of Adidas. So, oh my God, we were spreading fake news. We're fake news. Oh my God, like
we were trolling Adidas.
Although we really liked the idea, so at least it wasn't something nasty about Adidas. So it's all good.
Do you know what though? I think they should have people that are on like in different areas to really understand how the business operates. Like, it's not a bad idea.
That's what I mean. Like, I mean, come on. Like, maybe someone else needs to take on this trend or take on this idea because, like, there's, when businesses make decisions on behalf of people that work in their business or on behalf of their customers without actually doing any research or have any understanding, and that happens a lot. That's where you get a lot of conflict from, like, the people that I always describe as people on the shop floor. Like, I would describe myself as on the shop floor at a university because I'm there delivering the content and it goes up and up and up. It's the same with any business, isn't it? There's the people that are on the forefront of it and the people right at the top. And those people are garment workers in some respects, dealing with like the manufacturing process. So, I think it maybe would be an interesting thought to actually like speak to these people and reach out.
I agree.
And they probably do. But how amazing to have someone on their board somewhere. So, I mean, we'll see. Maybe some brands will take that up. I quite like it.
I like it.
There we go. So, yeah.
Let's talk about Brooklyn Beckham.
I mean, yeah, I just wanted to actually talk about this because not quite fashion related, but I think we've got a lot of people that listen to this podcast because they're part of the fashion industry. They're looking out for their own careers. We've got a lot of students that are going into their careers as fashion students and graduates and want amazing jobs. But like, I just wanted to bring David Beckham up, and I sent this to Laura last week.
Brooklyn.
That he's getting absolutely slated. Brooklyn Beckham. Let's say David Beckham. I'm losing it. Got David on the brain.
Too early, that's what it is.
We normally podcast on an evening. I think this podcast is showing that we're just not morning people, but that's okay. We're trying things. But yeah, Brooklyn Beckham has been absolutely slated for changing his career again. What are your thoughts, Laura? Because I have some strong thoughts.
I think we've got conflicting views on this.
Go for it.
Like, I get when you're young, you flutter between trying to figure out what you like. So I started off in buying, realised that it just wasn't for me, and moved into marketing. Fine. Okay, I was young. I was testing, sampling different jobs. But I just feel like because he's in the public eye, Sophie's doing her makeup. Because he's in the public eye, yeah, it's probably scrutinised a lot heavier than if he was just a regular, normal person. But I just feel like when you watch his TikToks and stuff about him cooking, he's a little bit shit. Like, he's not. He is though. Like, the stuff that he makes isn't mad good, is it?
I mean, it's probably better than my cooking.
All he's done is he's basically gone to his wife and been like, yeah, I think you should wear those shoes instead of those shoes. And then someone's gone, oh yeah, that outfit looks really good. And she's turned around and said, yeah, Brooklyn picked it out. And he's thought, do you know what? I'll do this for a living. He was a photographer, then he was a chef, now he's a stylist. It's like, it would be different if it was like a stylist to a designer, but he's going from a chef to a stylist. It's just really career hopping too much for me. I don't know. I think it's weird.
Yeah, I think it's what I mean. I don't follow him on social media. Sorry, just looking for my bronzer.
No, I
just looking
don't.
for my bronzer brush. This is so silly.
God.
I don't follow him on social media, but I have seen obviously a lot of articles. I am a bit anti-Beckham at the moment, just purely because of David. But I've always loved Victoria, so I would count myself as a Beckham fan. I've just googled his age actually, because I'm literally just sat here thinking, okay, what this guy? How old is he? He's 23. So I'm a bit like,
It's
he's
young.
very young. And if I think about like myself between like the ages of like 15, 16 to like early 20s, I wanted to be a police officer. I did my work experience at a police station in Warsaw. That doesn't exist anymore.
Stop it.
Honestly, ask Ian.
Did you?
Ask Arian. Yeah, I was at Green Lane police station. This was like, when you have to do work experience when you're like in year 11.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a police officer. It's because I was obsessed with the bill. Ask Arian, he'll tell you. I was obsessed with the bill.
Yeah.
Right, but you know what stopped me? You're going to laugh at this. My fear of wrists. I'm slowly getting over it because I wear a Fitbit these days.
Oh my God, yeah.
But I was literally like, the thought of putting handcuffs on someone makes me physically sick. So imagine me like chasing like someone down the streets and like some criminal, and then trying to handcuff. Sorry, would you just stop there for a minute? And could you put your own handcuffs on?
Can I put it around your ankles instead of your hands?
If you're going to put your wrists out for me to handcuff, can you put them forward so I can't see your veins? That would have been me. I then wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be an art teacher. Then I wanted to be an art therapist. Then I went to unis to look at art, like design, fashion design. I actually went to a Nottingham Trent Open Day, and actually that's how I found out about fashion business. I didn't even know that side of the industry existed. Then I wanted to be a visual merchandiser, and I had a part-time visual merchandising job at uni. Then I went down into PR, and then I've had my big career changes have been like from like working in the fashion industry to coming into academia. And I love academia, and I will always be an academic. But however, I would at some point like to do some consultancy with like my research. But I'd never give up being a lecturer. But there, for me, if I just think about my age between 16 and like early 20s, I had loads of career ideas. But I think because the spotlight's not on us, like I just kind of think let him be. He's just discovering who he is. I actually thought he was a bit older than that.
But because he had to sign a prenup, maybe he's got to earn the cash.
He's a Beckham though, isn't he? Like, surely.
Yeah, but if you think about Victoria Beckham's business, she's always in the news, isn't she, for being like so much in debt?
Yeah, maybe.
Like she's not in a good financial place. I think it's David probably that holds the money, but
That's why he couldn't give
I
up
think
his
you're right.
10 0 for Qatar.
There you go.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it.
I think it's just the flutter. I mean, maybe he shouldn't be announcing, "I'm a stylist, I'm a chef." Maybe he should just be showing himself cooking as, like, a hobby, because I don't know. It is because he's in the spotlight and it is harder, but I do understand. I mean, I think if you know what you wanna do when you're young, you're blessed.
Yeah, oh, 100%.
So
100%. I mean, thank God I'm not a police officer, honestly. But yeah, I just think, yeah, I think the media are being a bit harsh. Like, they're just jumping on it, and we all flutter. Like, even if we flutter from department to department, or like you
mm.
said, you've gone from buying into marketing and then into academia. So that's like 3 big career changes, like within like 10 years, 15 years.
Absolutely, and I always say, if I could do my time again, I'd wanna be a doctor.
No
So
way. Would
different.
you actually?
I'd love to be like a surgeon or
Oh, that's because we
something.
both love Grey's Anatomy.
That's what it is. But no,
Oh,
I'd really love to be a doctor. I think it's that whole thing about
oh,
helping people, and I think that's why I like academia as well, because you, like,
yes.
get to support people, and I love that side of it.
Yeah. People always say to me, "What's like the best thing about working like as an academic, or like, best thing about your job?" Helping people, relationships with students. I
Yeah,
love
100%.
love getting to know my students, getting to know their names and all those things. But there we go. So let's head back and delve into fashion. So we've actually come across a weird little new saying. So everyone's been obsessed with greenwashing. We've talked about this idea of greenwashing before. We've covered it a lot in our podcast, talking about various brands. I think it was you that found this law. I think, was it the Fashion
Yeah.
and the Free? Shout out to
Yeah,
Fashion
yeah,
and the Free. They're all picking us up, and we'll absolutely big them up. But they're amazing as well. Such lovely, lovely peeps. They posted about something called green hushing, which is a new kind of buzzword in the industry. And it's the idea that brands almost need to flip. So a lot of brands have been working towards being really transparent and open about their sustainability and what they do and what they don't do. And what I think is happening is brands are tripping up quite easily because they're putting kind of big statements out there, and having to kind of retract them quite quickly, which is causing like a bit of controversy. So my friend Sarah, shout out to our lovely Sarah Knott, my lovely friend that always listens. She sent me something the weekend about I think is it George Astor and Boohoo have like recycled garments and stuff like that now, but actually only 20% of them of the materials and stuff are actually recycled. So by turning around and saying, "Oh, we have all these recycled clothings in this range," yes, because they're kind of like greenwashing because it's actually not fully 100%. So by putting
Mm.
that out there, they're opening themselves up to some controversy and to some kind of crisis stuff now. So there's this term of like green hushing whereby like brands maybe are taking a step back and thinking about what they're actually putting out there because it's so easy to slip up and be caught for not being 100% this and not being 100% that. So by actually hushing their transparency statements and all that information, they're actually protecting themselves from crisis even further because they don't want to put the statements out there. What do you reckon?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Financial Times released a report and said that a quarter of 1,200 companies that were surveyed said they would not publish their science-based net zero emission targets. And I think you're right. I think it is almost
Ooh.
like protecting themselves and thinking, actually, if we say we're this, this, and this, what if we're investigated and we're wrong? It's going to really be detrimental to the brand in terms of their reputation. So, I mean, obviously, it's really important for brands to kind of say, this is what we're doing and these are our targets. But it's like, are you actually doing it? And can you fully stand by what you're saying? So I think it's interesting that, we've seen so much press around greenwashing in general. And now it's about green hushing. I think it's really interesting. I think it's definitely one to watch out for and see how companies are going to spin this around.
Yeah, because I think as well, like the term greenwashing has come from like panic and crisis around fashion brands because I feel like a lot of brands are so worried that something's going to come out about it. And so if we look at like Boohoo, if we look at Primark, who are really transparent now, but are they only transparent because of what has happened? Same with H&M. They've been accused of greenwashing
Yeah.
and there's been lots of legal cases surrounding them. Are they like trying to like protect themselves? And that's what the whole people kind of greenwashing in a panic response.
Mm.
And actually, that's interesting, that stat that you talked about, that many actually don't publish. But I feel like the fashion industry is so susceptible to it, and people are so on it with the fashion industry, and I think that's what we call like the spillover effect, because there has been so many crises in sustainability that fashion are just probably top of the list, really,
Yeah.
if not like one of the top industries that we look at for sustainability, along with kind of cars and things like that.
The Financial Times also go on to say that you have to pay the initiative to be accredited, which leads to the assumption that you're paying to get yourself a good score. So it's actually,
Ah,
it's like paying for the label. So, if you say I'm an accredited brand, blah, 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 you think, oh, that's amazing. They've gone through, like they've been called out as being, perfect or doing good, but actually they're paying for this like certificate, I guess. So how legit is it really? I think that's really interesting.
it's interesting. I feel like brands can't do right or do wrong though, because I'm thinking back to Rana Plaza, and there's this amazing report that was published. I looked at it when I was doing like my literature review for my PhD, and it literally lists every single brand that was involved in Rana Plaza, how they then contributed, what they did about it. Did they stay silent? Did they actually own up? Did they apologise? Did they deny? But that's interesting because obviously a lot of them then had to pledge, and like you said, I've had to pay to have all this auditing done and all this
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And it's like paying for that tick. So yeah, I just wonder.
Well, they essentially now don't want to be called out, do they? They don't want the embarrassment of saying that they are something that they're not. I think it should just be that a company, it's just in their ethos that they just do good. They just are conscious about manufacturing and their carbon footprint and the materials that they're using. It now doesn't have to be about, oh, look at me in the press, I'm going to get loads of media coverage because I'm amazing. It's actually, well, this should just be a flat standard now.
Yeah, I completely agree. I completely agree. And it brings back to some conversations that I've had at work recently, that actually, our students, I'm teaching kind of lots of business students, accounting and finance, marketing students. You're teaching a lot of marketing, promotion students that are going to go out into industry. And like, feel like there's an onus on us as like academics to like, not only like kind of, I think making them aware of sustainability, that's done. They
Yeah.
all know about sustainability. It's actually making them realise what they can do. These are going to be future leaders, future generations that are going to go out into industry. And I'm hoping that's going to make the impact, like obviously as people retire and people age through the company and people start to leave, that maybe that wasn't their agenda when they started a business like many, many moons ago, that this kind of fresh layer of people that know what to do, they don't, not just educated and aware and winging it, people are actually going to be really aware of the changes that they can make to a business. And I think that's when we'll see a lot of change with all our fabulous graduates going out into industry. But I think fashion industry is definitely one to watch.
Yeah.
And our final topic of in the know is the couture comeback. So any fashionista will see and know how many posts and news outlets and stuff. Obviously, there's been a lot going on around fashion weeks and things like that, especially lots of different couture shows. And I'm just going to start with two icons. We've got Kylie Jenner. We've got Kylie Jenner rocking up in that weird lion thing, and then Doja Cat as well, absolutely covered head to toe in red Swarovski crystals. Thoughts? Where do we go? This is also dedicated to Emma Green, because Emma Green has some thoughts on this. She's like really excited for this bit, so we need to excel for Emma Green. Sorry, Emma Armstrong Craddock.
The Kylie Jenner thing's just an absolute joke. I detested it. I think it promotes trophy hunting.
Yeah,
I think because it was so lifelike that I just thought, why on earth would you look at a rail of outfits thinking, I want to wear that one. I want a massive lifelike lion stuck to my tit. It's not, it's just beyond crazy now. And actually, when she went to the couture show and that model on the catwalk actually came out in the same dress, I mean,
her face. But that was
the
obviously going to
face.
happen. She was wearing that designer, and that's
Yeah,
that new stuff. Like, I don't know if was she shocked, or maybe that was just like the wrong angle for her face. It was obviously going to be there. I mean, yeah, I don't like it. I don't love it.
I hate it.
I actually appreciate couture more than I appreciate the general kind of catwalk shows, because it's about being
Really?
bizarre. Yeah, I think because that's what it is. I feel like, I don't know, I've never been a catwalk designer fan person. I've just never been massively into luxury or anything like that. But I love couture for its pure art form. It is supposed to be bizarre. I mean, me and Emma Green were laughing at like the dress, the upside down dress that was like a cone on
The
someone's head.
Victor
You
and
couldn't
Rolf
even see.
one, yeah,
That's it, Victor and Rolf. And I was like, oh my God, this
yeah.
is.
But
But
do
you
you
know
know what?
what?
I liked the dresses. I just didn't understand the concept of it being like sideways or like above your head.
Well, that's what I kind of love because it's just a bit like,
But it got people talking about it.
absolutely.
If they just came out in those wearing the dresses, then I wouldn't think anything of it. I'd just think, oh, they're quite princessy, you know. But the fact that they were flipping across their chest sideways made me think, this is weird. And I've remembered it.
Yeah, because I don't consider myself a massively creative person, even though I got 2 A stars for art and design. I used to be really creative, but I'm not. I just don't. I consider myself more businessy than I do creative. So like, I look at something like that and I'm like, where the hell did that come from? And the abstractness of that
Mm,
literally intrigues me. I think I do love the couture stuff because I think it is someone's art form as opposed to fashion because the practicalities of some of those outfits are just not there. And I could see what, with the kind of fake leopard and fake lions and all those kind of things, I could see obviously because it's obviously the fashion industry has moved from, well, hopefully we're nearly there, it's making movements from using real fur,
yeah.
animal products and stuff and moving towards fake. So I kind of see probably what they were going for.
Mm.
But I think, like you said, still it's kind of putting this animal head on a trophy, which is just bizarre.
Which I agree. Like, I'm so anti animal hunting and all of that. I do think it promotes trophy hunting, etc. However, the thing that blows my mind is it Peter? They came out and said that Kylie's look celebrates the lion's beauty and may be a statement
Oh,
against trophy hunting in which lion families are torn apart to satisfy human egotism.
that's
So
interesting.
I'm really surprised that like an animal activist group have flipped it and seen the other side and said, is it actually a celebration of the animals
Hmm.
and raising awareness to not trophy hunt?
This is what goes back to why I love like haute couture because like it's interpretive, it's
Yeah,
abstract.
yeah.
Like you take what you want from it, and that's what I love. And I feel like there's been a kind of a real lack of like excitement around the couture industry, and I've seen lots about the couture comeback and all those things. And I just think, yeah, I think it's fabulous. So I'll be watching more catwalk shows and things like that. So that's a bit of Kylie. There's a bit of a Jenna theme today, but we're just going to go on to Doja Cat, who obviously is very well known for her outrageous looks, fabulous fashion, kudos. But this red Swarovski crystal getup, I
Blows my
am
mind.
not about. Blows my mind. I was just a bit like, I don't understand it. But again, that's just subjectiveness. I don't know. Other people might like it. But what I found was really funny is that it's triggered. There's lots of stuff in the middle in the news. Sorry, about the triggering of triphobia. Oh no, how do you say it? Trypophobia. Trypophobia. I think that's how you say it. Which is actually interesting because Luca suffers with this. My husband, he hates loads of little dots or loads of little holes. Like he can't eat anything like that. He can't look. It freaks him the hell out.
Same. I can't open a pomegranate. I can't. It really sketches me
Don't think
out.
I've ever opened a pomegranate. Is that what it looks like? No idea. I mean, obviously, that's just people, someone could walk down the street in some random stripy outfit and someone would go, I don't like stripes. Like everything, has that kind of reaction to different things. And I'm sure was not the intention, but I think it's an interesting conversation.
Mm,
Yeah, and it's a very interesting phobia. So yeah, people that don't like holes and
holes.
and those
Yeah.
kind of things. Holes, weird holes. Weird holes, but obviously she's had a lot of press, and she was covered in 30,000 hand applied Swarovski crystals.
Madness. I want to know, how far down does it go?
Oh, I'd never even thought that.
Like, where's the line?
Has she
Like,
I can't say it. Vajazzled. Has she
bejazzled. Is she
vajazzled? But
bejazzled?
apparently it only took, oh no, I saw 58 minutes, but
5
it's
hours.
4 hours
Yeah,
and
4
58
hours,
minutes.
58 minutes.
I would not stand
Who's got the
there.
time?
Oh,
Who's
Doja
got the
Cat him.
time?
Doja Cat I mean, look at me. I'm still doing makeup, kids. We should have done like a slow lapse of me putting my makeup on.
What happens if she got an itch? Like,
Oh my god,
imagine if she
yes.
got a bit itchy. Because it would have had to gone under the armpits, and surely if you
Yeah.
like sweated a little bit, it would start to run. I mean, maybe she was covered in like, that like latex stuff first. I guess she was. Yeah, she was covered in that latex stuff.
You're making me itch now.
Sorry. sweaty, a hot mess. I don't know whether it's the colour, if it's the red that puts me off a bit as well, but then if she'd have gone for blue, she would have looked like an avatar. If she'd have gone for pink, she probably would look like a massive spot. So green would have been Shrek. So maybe red was the right colour.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to know what the kind of thought was behind this.
I would love to hear the pitch. I've got this idea that you should wear. I think it's absolutely sensational. You're going to be covered in crystals. I mean, that sounds pretty cool, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think I'd probably have rose gold crystals. I love rose gold.
Yeah, you would. You would.
I would, but just some bizarre outfits, and I would love to know what some of our listeners think as well. Like, how did you react to some of these? Like I said, it's very subjective, and I really find
Mm,
it interesting what Peter have said against kind of what my initial thoughts were and what our initial thoughts were. I
yeah.
love this podcast because it allows us to bring in lots of different opinions and have these conversations. Like I was talking to again Emma. Emma, I feel like this little section is devoted to you. Emma's an avid listener and one of my very very best friends. And she was like, she absolutely loved in our last episode that we were talking about The Apprentice and things like that. Because like her opinion
Oh,
on it was actually like it depends obviously whether like people are being forced to, but actually like why shouldn't women? This is the other flip side of it. Why shouldn't women wear these skimpy little outfits to work if that's what they want to wear? And I
yeah, that's how
absolutely
I
agree with
feel.
that.
No, I get
Yeah,
that. I get
absolutely.
that.
But then I suppose then comes the sexualization of it, and then that's where
Mm.
the problem goes. But it's what we love. We love when our listeners feed back to us and have these conversations.
But it's like, have you seen Emily Atack talking about her documentary? I think it's called Asking for It. And I thought that was really interesting because she talks about how, she's daily, she is sent sexual, explicit um, messages and images of like men, doing the deed. And it's
Ooh,
actually like, I'm not asking for it. This is just happening to me all the time. And she's trying to get
yeah,
a law in Parliament where, if a guy flashes you in real life, he can be fined. But why can they not be fined yet if they flash you online?
virtually.
Yeah. And I
Oh,
think that's really interesting.
I need to watch that.
And it goes back to that whole kind of like, you're not trying to sexualize yourself, but it's just how people perceive you. So why should you if
Yeah.
you want to wear a skimpy outfit, if you want to wear a mini skirt to work? Why not?
Absolutely. If you want to wear a miniskirt to work, you do it. If you want to cover yourself in Swarovski crystals, you do it. If you want to wear a lion head, as long as it's fake, you do it. You
Yeah,
do it, girl. But I just think it's interesting conversations to be having, and I love that like listeners are commenting. So
definitely.
drop in our inbox, guys, on TikTok, on Instagram, at the Fashdemics, please. Any comments we love. This is the platform. We know that our opinions aren't always right, and we love hearing other sides of things. We always invite those comments. So thanks for getting involved, guys.
Okay, so our like to know is the old school brand Triangle
I didn't
bikinis.
even know it was a thing. It's an
I just,
Australian brand, correct?
is it what?
Is it an Australian brand?
I think so. Yeah. But I just remember
It
this
takes
one
me
like
back.
like 10 years ago, maybe over 10 years ago. It was the bikini.
I had one.
Yeah, everybody wanted one, didn't they? They were quite expensive though, weren't they?
I feel like I was sent one. You remember when I used to have a little blog?
Cute.
When I tried to be an influencer for 5 minutes and realised that no one cared. I've got a few free clothes. I've got
Did
a
you?
few free clothes. But yeah, I mean, this is amazing. So you saw this post on LinkedIn,
I
right? You sent
did.
it
I
me last
did.
week. And as a PR person, I was like, claps all
Mm,
round for this PR team because it's amazing.
good strategy. So they gave Kylie Jenner FOMO. So they're saying in the early days of Triangle, their influencer strategy was all about gifting. So sending products with no expectation of anything in return. So they just wanted people to wear them if they liked the product.
That was
Um,
me. I definitely didn't pose in a bikini for Triangle. I don't think. I hope not. Ugh. Who wants to see that?
I would.
Oh, you're cute.
But they've said, but to get the big names to give you a wear or a share, they needed budget. And these budgets were higher than Triangle could afford and really just not something they were into.
Well, that's the thing now, isn't it? Because you're paying for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
When I was in industry, it's gone from like a free a free gifting thing to like no one takes things for free anymore. Unless
No.
you're me. I like freebies.
I like freebies. So they're saying that the Aussie-based Triangle brand began to strategize how they could make themselves known overseas, especially America, and recognized that they needed Kylie Jenner. But instead of going after her and digging into the budget that they absolutely did not have, they started to gift the bikinis to all of her friends, but Kylie Jenner.
Just amazing. Just amazing. I love it.
So good. So it says the FOMO effect, so the power of, oh, you didn't get one. And soon after, Triangle got got an email from Kylie Jenner herself saying, all of my friends have been wearing your bikinis. Can I get some too? So therefore, they were able to send it to her. So she was part of the gang. She was wearing it as well because she then desired it because she got FOMO from not having it compared to all of her friends. And I think what an absolutely genius marketing strategy. Snapseed to Triangle, love it.
Whoever came up with that, give them the
A pay
biggest
rise.
pay rise ever.
Yep.
Because that is epic. And I think actually, what an amazing idea. I think there should be more brands rolling out that because you know what?
That is great.
Their prices to get like some of the stuff, and obviously I know like people are making their influencer business like something to monetize, like absolutely you go for it, but the prices of for some brands like are just completely unaffordable.
Mm.
And I think it's so clever, and I really love it. It's like they manifested it and it happened.
Doesn't Kim Kardashian charge like £1 million for one social media picture?
I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, a lot of people have like media rates and cars.
Yeah, it's wild.
Maybe that's a topic in itself that we should talk about, like how
Mm.
much influencers are charging and where's the line, where's the fairness? Because I don't know. I mean, when I was working for an agency, when I did like a placement for my masters, they always went on engagement rate. They did not care whether someone
Mm.
had 1,000, 10,000, 10 million. If their engagement rate was shockingly low, they wouldn't bother. If their engagement rate was high, then that's when they would bother. And so it's, I don't know, it's really quite interesting, isn't it? And it's like, it's such a, what's the word? It's such a subjective area. There's no clear, like, this is what you should charge for any influencer. There's no guidelines on anything like that. So like people obviously like will make up what they want to charge, and that's absolutely fine. Like, and people can perceive their own value, which is I like on one hand, and I'm absolutely all for monetizing like content creation. Like you should never do things for free. You're devaluing yourselves and that kind of stuff. But I do at the same time think, where's the line in like how much you charge? Because especially with like a brand
Mm.
like Triangle, obviously they're a big brand, and obviously maybe I haven't heard of them for years, so I was really shocked. So they're obviously still
Yeah.
doing well, and maybe like in like Australia and New Zealand and other countries outside of the world, they probably are still doing really great, which I'm really glad to hear. But like especially like some of these smaller brands that just need that break and just need like someone to say, yeah, like I'll try it. Like and I just think it just helps business. So I feel like people should just help each other.
I agree. I think that was just flipping clever though. But yeah, I think like if somebody said, "Oh, here's £1 million, will you say that you like these, I don't know, Diarrhea tablets?" You'd do it, wouldn't you? You'd be like, "Well, it's £1 million," so you just say you it's a great product, even if it's not.
Oh, of course. Oh my God, of course. But what I like about this one as well is that actually now Kylie Jenner will have asked
Kendall,
for them. She will have been sent them. And if she posts them, sorry, Kendall, sorry, we were talking about Kylie just, that she will post them
yeah,
and they will be organic.
yeah,
That's the most
and the
clever
most
out of
valued as
all of
well.
the, if you think about it. She will be wearing that bikini because
Yeah.
she loves that bikini, not because a brand has paid her a grand, 5
Mhm.
grand, 50 grand for something. Like, I'm probably should probably even more expensive than what I've just said, but it will be an organic win, and that is so rare now in any content creation to
Yeah,
get an organic win like that. So,
Snapsies.
I mean, clap
Yeah,
again, kudos, love
fabulous.
it. Well, there we go. Another amazing episode of your regular Fashionemics pod. Thank you so much again for joining us. I wish we need to do like a little video thing, because at the start of this podcast, I got no makeup on, and now I'm all Charlotte Tilbury out. Please sponsor me, Charlotte Tilbury. I love your products. But yeah, I think some really great discussions. If you've got any feedback, any comments, we absolutely love it. Please look out for our fantastic guest pods that we've got coming out.
They're excited.
We've got an amazing interview with James Harper from The Sneaker Doc, and then we've also got a very exciting Married at First Sight guest. I'm going to let you wonder who that might be, but we cannot wait to speak to them. So make sure you're following us, make sure you're commenting, give us that review. We've had an absolute streak of reviews that have been amazing and amazing to read. We've had someone that listened to the Merrill podcast and found us through Merrill, and has come and reviewed us and joined us as a listener. So please just tell us that you're listening. Screenshot that pod, share it with us. We love all the support that we can get. It really does help us, and it really does make us happy. So keep on supporting us, guys, and we'll keep on creating this content for you. Bye.
Bye.
Pete, insert some spangly jingle here.
Jingle, jingle, jingle. Jingle, 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 jingle.
It's like
Okay,
Christmas. Woo. The actual enthusiasm of a 8:30 podcast recording.
Thank you for listening to this Brum Radio podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and rate us on your podcast app.